they chose I chose thinking outside of a box, space like thinking outside of a box. I really appreciate the visual um, picture that Kelvin managed to pull up for us. I think everyone saw it. The first one, where was within the box, so that means we're restricted, and then the other one were outside of the box, but still, because we're just circling outside of the box, we're still within the remit of those restrictions. And then the other third one was where we was definitely there was following that momentum from yesterday. um I thought the best way to be able to then carry that on would be to then for us to discuss about taking risks. So the definition of a risk is a noun, but it's defined as a situation that involves exposing yourself to danger. So the fact that you're exposing yourself to danger, now then who are you exposing to the danger? You may be exposing um, someone you value or something you treasure, but you're exposing that to danger, harm, or loss. So most people's mental that kind of what's the word, when you're faced with that kind of situation, automatically the first thing you want to do is to back away from whatever decision or situation it is that you find yourself in, because naturally most people don't like taking risks. But I believe like life is risky. From the moment we're born, everything is risky. Every day you wake up, um, it's a risk, but those are different kinds of risks. What I'm trying to focus on here is us training ourselves to learn how to take calculated risks, because when you look at most of the successful people in the world, or people who have done really um, outstanding ventures or have developed something, they have taken risks. They have chosen to forego that fear that says, no, I can't do it. No, I've tried so many times. Seriously, should I still continue? Um, so most people that have been successful, or that are successful, or that will be successful, have to be people who know how to take risks. I had a quote that said the biggest risk you can take in your life is not taking any risks at all. So I don't know if anyone is very familiar with that, but so for example, when I started taking my ACCA journey, um, it's so crazy because when I left university, um, obviously I graduated in accounting and finance. And when you're in university, they'll always tell you the benefits of, okay, finishing your bachelor's with professional exams, so that your bachelor's is not just left halfway if you've done accounting and finance. So somehow maybe I didn't take heed properly, but I didn't start my exams even after I graduated. It took me like couple of years before I then decided to say, you know what, no, because I'd worked for a bit, and then whilst I was working, I then thought, is this what I really want to do? The job I was in retail banking, and I was like, no, but that means I have to go back and do my exams. So in that moment, I had to make a decision. The reason why I was even putting it off for so long is because most of my colleagues or people that went uni with that had attempted the exams were always giving me some kind of, they were instilling fear in me. Like, I'm telling you, those exams, you're gonna have long hours. No, seriously, you'll fail some, then you still got to pay for it. I'm like, no, seriously. So I'm like, should I get someone to sponsor me, go to one of these companies who, take you on, but they'll work you so hard. I don't think you would sit the exams. It's best to sit the exams yourself. So I decided to take that risk of taking these exams. But I mean, that me taking that decision was just the start. Now, walking through that decision, it was painstaking, but at the very end, I don't regret the journey I took. So that's an example of risk I took. In other words, if I didn't taken, if in that moment, if I hadn't taken that decision to shy away from the small inner voice that's telling me, no, no, don't do it. It's all right. You can still be successful. Even if you haven't finished the whole journey, you could, other people haven't done ACCA, and I'm telling you, they're earning. But I chose not to feed off that worry, or what if it doesn't work out for me? What if things don't go the way I've planned? What will happen then? So that's my take on taking risks. And then I don't know if someone's also had another quote that says, every failed experiment is one step closer to success. I'm sure very many of us know, even some time back, we spoke about all these prominent people that have created, like, for example, the man that created the light bulb. I think everyone's heard that story. I think he tried it, if I'm not wrong, more than is it nearly 100 times, if I'm not wrong. But in other words, he tried it several times. But I believe the only reason why he kept trying it is because he believed that he could do it. So every time he failed, it's like, what the quote just said. Every time you fail, when you do get up, you don't get up and start from the same space. You're getting up to start from a space of experience of, you're having that experience in terms of what you have learned. Why did you fail? So when you go ahead and then start again, you're definitely starting with a different mindset. So you definitely will excel in a better way at most times than you did before, when, before you hadn't failed. So I think one thing I'd really advise us to refrain from is having this not mentality, but having this mentality of, what if this happens? Like, you question everything, but you always look at everything not with negative eyes, but you don't try to be positive. So every time you question something, so for example, I know one thing that Mola always says here is, don't be scared to try something new. If you don't try it, then you won't know whether you can do it. But even if you try it and it's not right, it's not the end of the world, because the fact that you've tried it, you've got that experience, you've learned something from it, you can then use it in another way. But if you don't try something, then if you don't try to do what your mind or whatever you find yourself wanting to do, because you're scared you might get it wrong, or you're scared if you say it might not be right, then you're selling yourself short, because you're trying to think outside the box and think, no, I need to be able to try. Let me just try it, isn't it? Let me try it and see what's going to happen. At the end of the day, I always tell my clan here at home that everything we do has consequences. That's the law. There's laws we live by, the law of gravity, the law of relativity. All these laws, basically, there's a law that says whatever you do, definitely it has a reaction. You may not see it now, today, tomorrow, 5 years, but where we are now is because of a decision we took yesterday, 5 years ago. Everything that happens to us, it doesn't happen to us by chance. It happens because we've taken a decision in the past, or we've done something that's led us on this journey to be where we are. So with that being said, that's where I feel like when you choose to be someone who's a risk taker, you choose to live not a dangerous path, but a very exciting path, because when you live on a path full of risks, then you always know it's going to have ups and downs, but you're willing to go through those ups and downs because that's the only way you're going to feel the adrenaline and find, you know, the thrill of life. But then if you choose to be someone who just wants to be on the safe and, you know, I want to do it this way, or I choose to just, so then unfortunately life is going to go at a very slow pace. So in terms of ideally work here, or even in any professional environment, I believe you should be someone, or train yourself to be someone who is willing to try new things, to take the risk that can maybe take Morocco to the next stage, or take wherever you work to the next stage, or you'll come up with a solution or with a problem that has been, because you're willing to, if you have a problem, you're not scared, you talk about it. If you have an idea, please share it. We all learn from each other anyways. But yeah, so that's my take on risk. So I would really appreciate it if ideally everyone can give us 2 or 3 lines. Ideally, if everyone, we still have a few 10 minutes, I think that should be enough. 2 minutes for someone to just give, you know, their take on risk, or a quote they have about risk. That would be great. Yeah, so let's get all the risk takers, please, to the mic.
Hi.
Hi. No one's gonna come.
Oh, sorry, Tika, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
No, you can go ahead and submit it. Like you have speak. Go ahead, I will talk after you.
Okay. Hi again, good morning. Thank you, Sharon, for this important topic. And I think, sorry, I think I have a connection problem. So if I got off, that's because of my connection. But something that I want to emphasize on is if you want to take risks, you have to have a plan for it, because we call it risk because it may end in a good way, but it may end in a bad way. So we have to be prepared. You know, in my opinion, I think that we have to be prepared for the worst, but you have to plan for the best. So because it can lead to negative consequences. So you have to be prepared for any possibility that may happen after you take that risk, and you have to have a plan. And I think in that case, if you are successful, you have the plan to how to face it, how to face that win. And if it wasn't successful, you are prepared for anything that could happen. And I think being a risk taker is not just like being blind and do whatever you want to do, just but with a closed eye. I think you have to always consider the consequences, always have a plan, and you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help if you are unsure about taking a risk. I think there are always people around you that can help you with taking that decision, and can help you if you should take that risk or not. So I think you have to always consider it with the people that you trust, and take some advice. And the other thing, I think, for helping in making yourself a little bit more risk taker, I think you can practice by starting small. If you are not used to taking risk, you can start with some small decisions, risky decisions, and then see how it affects you and affect your life. But I think also being a risk taker can really important, and it can help you to develop a growth mindset, because growth mindset means that you believe that your ability, your intelligence can be developed, can be improved, and you can improve them by learning new things, by different activities. But a fixed mindset says that there is not a chance that you can develop or grow anything that you already have. So it's like you have to work with whatever you have, and it's not going to improve. So being a risk taker can help you with having a growth mindset, with developing that mindset that you can always grow. You can take some risks and grow your abilities, develop your abilities and intelligence. So it's important for us to take risks because of our own growth, our own success. And it's scary, I'm sure, but it's important to remember that some risks are worth taking, I can say, because they help you develop your life, they help you be more successful, and they worth taking, they are worth taking. So I think we have to sometimes put aside that part of ourselves that is continuously telling us, don't do this, don't do that, and sometimes be irrational and just go for it and take the risk. And I think it usually leads to a successful consequence. So yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sapide, for the point as you've given there. Starting small, I think that's really key to anyone. Everything starts small, and I like the fact that you reminded every one of us that being a risk taker means that you're having a growth mindset, which is very true. So that means you're telling yourself, or you're training yourself to believe that you develop over time. So hence you're willing to go through the ups and downs, but at least you're gonna get to the best place in terms of your personal development, your career choice, marriage life, whatever it is that you want to do. And then, well, as having a fixed mindset, then definitely you're limiting yourself. But again, to me, this goes back about the box. So when you're fixed mindset, you're within the box. But when you have a risk taker mindset, you're on the third part of the diagram that we saw, where there's so many endless possibilities. You're not constrained or restricted by anything. So yeah, thank you so much, Sapide. Latika.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Thank you for such a great topic, Sharon. For this mindset, but I believe like having a mindset of risk takers is like need really courage. Like a person need to be like a really courageful and like think out before, like if they are taking any kind of risk. Because like no, if you are taking any kind of risk, like quite always a doubt like you might fail, and a person has to be like really have unwavering faith in themselves. Like even if they face the failure, or like even if they are not successful at their first try, they should be ready to like face that failure and like not get demotivated by that failure and still try. I think that's one of the main quality of any risk takers, or like that's the kind of mindset they have. And like they are really persistent in whatever thing they are trying, because like even if we are trying new things, there is always a risk in that. So like no, instead of just getting comfortable in your comfort zone, they have a mindset of like no, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, I can say. like they always try to get out of their comfort zone to try the new things. And yeah, like it's not that they are just taking unnecessary risk, or like they are just taking risk without any thing, like that there will be consequences of that, like they could fail in that might demotivate them, like if they are like constantly trying but still not successful. Like even after all of these risks, or like this like cons of taking risk, they are still ready to accept that and like still go ahead with that. So I think that kind of mindset is really important when you are taking any kind of risk in your life. And like if I talk about myself, like I can't say like I'm a huge risk taker. Like I'm somewhere in between of like taking a risk or like a safe zone kind of person. So yeah, like I'll sometimes I get aware of that, like I'm getting comfortable in my comfort zone. So that's when I try to take some calculated risk, like oh, if I'm getting comfortable, so I'm aware like if I'm not taking some calculated and mindful risk, I won't be able to grow. I will be stuck in this zone and I won't be able to improve myself or develop new skills. So that's when I decide like no to take some risk after like thinking about the consequences also. So I think yeah, for that we need a mindset of like a growth mindset, like Sapide mentioned, and like we need to be like really persistent as well, because like a failure is inevitable when you are taking on new journey or like taking on new things you are trying out before like no to improve yourself or develop yourself. So I think yeah, like it's really important being like you have that adaptability and resilience in yourself before taking those risks. Yeah, that's my take on this. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you so much, Ratika, for the wonderful pointers as well. Yes, so in terms of qualities, yes, definitely. I think courage is very key. Yes, I think it's very, very key. I always tell my children, so I have to refer to them a lot, but whenever I think of courage, I think of a lion. So whenever we have like moments in the house, and I tell them, so I don't know if you've seen like a lion when, I don't know if you've seen those clips of wildlife or the migration, or when you see lions and then their territory. Yes, in the midst of danger, that they weren't, it's like they just stand there bold, like I'm ready to take you on. So I think definitely having courage is something we should all strive to get. Because if you don't have courage, definitely you won't be able to try anything. And I think the other key thing is having faith. Faith is very important. I won't come here to tell everyone what faith to choose to believe in, but whatever you choose to believe, you have to believe in something or believe in yourself for you to be able to do anything. Because if you don't have that self-belief, which is where that faith then comes in, then it's going to be very hard for you to be able to pick yourself up, like Ratika was saying, being persistent. Because for you to be persistent, you definitely need to have faith, because you have to keep that momentum, that fire burning. Because I remember even someone here had mentioned about, I don't remember the exact heading or have my notes, but when you keep pouring, petrol on, it's going to keep burning. But when you stop, definitely it's going to die out. So in terms of us being on this growth mindset, risk-taking journey, you definitely need to have that kind of persistence, that willingness, that faith to be able to get up. Like Sapide said, it's not prepare for the worst, but prepare for the uncertainty, the unknown. But then, be willing to plan for the best. Yes. So, sorry. Yes. Thank you so much, Ratika. Just bear with me, please. Someone, I think I got a delivery. I need to just go downstairs. I apologize sincerely. Can someone just help me to take over, please?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can take on one more question before we can like finish our session for today. If anyone wants to contribute their thoughts on today's topic.
Hi everyone. Good
Hi,
morning.
Siddharth. Morning.
I think someone else wanted to talk. Please go ahead.
No, just go ahead, Satira. Just go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted, to kind of a little bit disagree on this topic. So, I'm not much of a risk taker myself. It doesn't mean I'm afraid of doing things, but I really don't like to take risks a lot. Sabine mentioned a good thing about considering the consequences of an action that we want to do. I think it is really important. Our life is really short to take a lot of risk without having a plan, a good plan. I'm kind of, I'm much kind of a planner person. I like to plan for the things that are going to happen. Actually consider the pros and cons of everything. And I really don't like a lot of risks in my life. If we define risk as something that, if good things happen, if it happens correctly, good things will happen. If it doesn't, bad things will happen. I don't like it. I really like to plan things. I really like to research about the things that I want to do. So a lot of the things that are happening in our life can be planned. A lot of the things that we want to do in life, we can look at them beforehand, and we can actually plan for them and consider the consequences before. But yeah, it's I want to, the thing that I want to take from this topic is that don't be afraid to do things, to take actions, to a step forward. But I don't like the idea of jump into danger, not danger. I mean, like things that that are not planned, that have a low chance of success. I don't like that. But risk, as in doing things without fear, have the courage to do things as in this meaning, I think it is good. But without planning, without considering the consequences, pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages of a thing, I don't like to step in that road. And yeah, that's my idea. I think we are out of time, and thank you for the topic.
Thank you so much, Ratika, for helping me take over. Thank you for the beautiful contribution, Satira. Yes, basically, Satira raised a very good point. You need to carry out a SWOT analysis. Yes, so before you take any decision, whatever decision you take. But I do know every day presents ample opportunities for us to take risks. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys today. Be spontaneous in terms of what you do. Be open to every moment and be present in the moment, because that's when you then see the opportunities that's there for you to either take a risk. But I do know definitely today every one of us is going to be faced with that decision one time, two times, several times in a day, but it is going to happen. So I wish everyone a fabulous day ahead, and thank you for today as well.